Hey guys, and welcome to my stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Wow, I haven't said those words in so long. I want you guys to know that I missed you more than you missed me, and I'm happy I'm back here for you with another video just to give you my perspective on everything that's been going on.
And let's start off with some video footage of the breaking news just coming out with Ukraine and Russia.
Shannon, let me just start with you because we have a couple breaking situations right now, right? We are awaiting the president to begin this virtual meeting, of course, with allies, with countries around the world. Talk us through what we know about this meeting, especially on the heels of learning about a national security meeting yesterday evening as well.
Yes, well, clearly, Ukraine is a central focus right now in the White House. The White House saying today the president is going to meet with some of America's closest allies, as well as countries in the region who are worried about what this may mean for their security, like Romania and Poland. A senior administration official told NBC News that the purpose of this meeting is to talk about this shared concern and to talk about diplomatic next steps and next steps when it comes to deterrence. And I think a big question we all have is what those next steps could be. So hopefully we'll maybe get some readout of what happens at this meeting. But of course, this comes after the president has been giving very grim assessments of his outlook of the situation there. He gave another one of those grim assessments to our own Lester Holt in this interview yesterday, to essentially telling Americans in the country to leave now. Here's a little bit more about what the president had to say.
What scenarios would you put American troops to rescue and get Americans out?
There's not. That's a world war. When Americans and Russia start shooting at one another, we're in a very different world than we've ever been in. American citizens should leave now. We're dealing with one of the largest armies in the world. This is a very different situation, and things could go crazy quickly.
Yeah. And you can hear there, Yasmin, the weight that the president sees of this situation. When we are talking about the potential of Russian and U.S. forces shooting at each other and what that would mean globally, and that the president really seeming to draw a line there that U.S. forces are not going into that country, even if it would be just to evacuate U.S. citizens.
So just a quick follow-up on that, Shannon, as I was taking a listen to that interview with Lester, is the president essentially saying here, listen, if Russia invades Ukraine and you're an American on Ukrainian soil, you're on your own?
That appears to be what the president's saying, and the State Department put out a similar warning yesterday, saying that there will not be the capabilities to evacuate U.S. citizens from Ukraine. That's why they have been increasingly urging people, American citizens, to get out of the country now.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, we also have received word that it is very likely, they're saying, that if an attack is going to be taking place, they expect it to happen in the middle of February, right around the middle of the month, and we're just a couple days away from that. So we will see, and I will keep you up to date on that here in the channel. Now, in addition to that, we also received word that President Joe Biden is going to be increasing federal wages. Take a look. Biden proposed a 4.6% pay raise for federal employees, the biggest hike in 20 years. Now, the article, very quickly, it says federal employees and military service members would receive an average raise of 4.6% next January under the budget that President Biden will propose in March, marking what would be the workforce's largest salary hike in 2 decades, according to senior officials at 2 federal agencies. Now, that sounds great. However, we just received the CPI data that reported 7.5% inflation, and they're saying that this is great, the highest we've seen in 20 years. However, inflation is the highest we've seen in 40 years, and this is actually a 3% pay cut when we have it at 7.5%. And as I mentioned in my video earlier this morning, I shared with you guys that a lot of people are saying, hey, President Joe Biden, we're not happy with the way things are going. His approval rating is at the lowest it's been, under 40%. They're saying it's actually lower than former President Donald Trump's. And they're saying that right now, he needs to do something about inflation, about what's going on. And a lot of people are saying issue more checks to help us out through this time. Now, they're saying don't issue new funds, though, like the Build Back Better bill, like Joe Manchin was saying, because if you do that, it's going to be adding to the debt and then adding even more to inflation. But tap into that $800 billion that has not been touched yet and issue out some more provisions and aid to help out at this time. Now, also, I have for you Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's response in Congress yesterday and what he had to say about inflation as well. Take a look.
Republican leader.
Moments ago, the
country got yet another terrible monthly inflation report under the Biden administration. Yet again, the data confirm what working families already know painfully well. Rampant inflation and soaring prices are crushing the American people. Experts had predicted another red-hot inflation report, around 7%. Even that alone would have meant we were still trapped inside the worst inflation in 40 years. But reality turned out to be even worse than that. Turns out inflation this past year hasn't been 7%, it's been 7.5%. In other words, if you haven't personally gotten a pay raise of 8% or more in the last year, then Democrats' policies have given you a pay cut. To add insult to injury, reporters say the worst of this inflation was driven by the most painful categories for working families: food prices, energy prices, and rent. This is not about financial inconvenience for wealthy people who can afford to stomach it. This is about massive price increases for essential goods that make up a huge share of working families' budgets. Gas is up about 40% since this time last year. Used car prices are up about the same. Meat, fish, and eggs cost over 12% more than they did just 1 year ago. The cost of natural gas for home heating has soared by 24% since this time last year. Fuel oil has shot up almost 47%. The cost of essentials has absolutely exploded since Washington Democrats took power. And to be clear, the worst inflation in 40 years is not something that just spontaneously happened to Democrats on their watch. As a Pew report demonstrated late last year, it's true countries around the world are facing inflation. They are, as a result of COVID. But America has it worse than almost everybody else in the developed world. This is a direct result of liberal policy choices.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That was Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on inflation. Now, I'll keep you up to date on whatever unfolds here. We're going to be seeing how they're going to be combating this. We already heard the Federal Reserve is going to be calling an emergency meeting to discuss ways to combat this. Likely going to be February 14th, I think it was that they said. I'll double check for you on that. Now, also, stimulus checks, as I mentioned. We're going to be seeing what they're going to do with that unused $800 billion. And also, we had $350 billion allocated from the American Rescue Plan to go out to states, counties, cities to use however they see fit. And I recently covered for you all 50 states stimulus checks that are going out on state levels. And in that video, I also cover for you some city and county checks as well.
Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really missed you. Hopefully I'll see you here again very, very soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified that whenever I publish new videos for you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.